I've been ridiculed on the show before for my lack of respect for the Western. I've been spit on by Joe Cristiano for having a disinterest in John Ford films. And Billy has thrown rotten fruit at me for not being able to sit through Unforgiven. Yeah. And I've tried 3 times. I don't know. I just feel so disconnected from these types of pictures. I think it's the excessive male bravado John Wayne and Clint Eastwood carry around as these ultra liberators with these giant guns. Women seem to be so useless in these films, and they usually look to these alpha male types to save them from whatever crisis they're experiencing. I mean, this is the usual Western, right? Tired plots, tired stories, and tired-looking men who always save the town from its bad guy. And all this just makes me so tired. So, I was given Meeks Cutoff as a gift from my brother Jeff a couple of years ago, and after a quick hug and a thank you, I put the disc on my shelf where it sat for a couple of years until this morning.
You're such an asshole.
You're such a dick.
Tom, you're such a dick.
Kelly Reichardt's revisionist take on the Western is an absolute astonishing piece of cinema. I'm not going to lie and say that it isn't a slow-moving, minimal dialogue, difficult piece to follow. But what she accomplishes here is near heroic. Meeks Cutoff is an honest tale of human struggle about 3 families following the 19th century dream of moving out west through the harsh landscape of the Oregon Trail, experiencing uncertainty, thirst, and misguidance. They're being led by a male fool, played by an excellent Bruce Greenwood, and a strong and sensible woman quietly steps up to help see these families through to an unknown destination. It's obvious Reichardt knows her Westerns and oppositely tells her story by designing a reality that normally eludes these types of pictures. What amazes me, as with all of the films of hers that I watched, is her ability to allow the viewer to have lingering thoughts and ideas about what they witness on her screen, as she never gives you absolution. And this reminds me of Michael Haneke. They both really trust us with taking in raw elements of life instead of usual plots and obviousness. They are both tough watches, but the reward is worthwhile as you are left with pieces of life that stir your soul. A rough cocktail to absorb, but the buzz is enlightening. I can't imagine living in a time or place that would see me risking my life for a better one, but Reichardt allows me to imagine. She puts me in the place and time without all the false bullshit, and she rips your gut open and helps you understand being. And that's cinema's purpose. That's what it's here for. And Kelly Reichardt is a gift. And make no mistake, she is boring. But please absorb Meeks Cutoff and allow yourself to enjoy a true Western, because if they were all like this, real and gritty, I would be all in all the time. As for allowing a gift like this to sit on the shelf for years, I apologize. I made a mistake. Jeff, I don't know why you found this lady, but as a voice on this show, a big thanks for bringing something different to the table. Reichardt deserves to be explored, and I'm going to keep my eyes open, even if she casts Clint Eastwood as a horse-riding, mysterious gunslinger, because I'm certain she'll do something different. And that's all a fan of film could ask for. Something different.
Tom, Is your
Yeah.
review done? Sorry.
Yes.
Are you telling me that you watched the film this morning and you watched baseball yesterday?
No. I watched this yesterday, and I wrote this review before I went to bed last night.
Wait a minute. So yesterday you watched baseball and Meeks Cutoff? You
I watched
baseball
Meeks-
all day.
I got hold on. I got up in the morning.
I'm holding on.
All right, let's hold on one more second. I got up in the morning and I watched Meeks Cutoff, and then I began my baseball day. Yes.
He likes his male bravado on a green field with hot dogs,
I mean,
but he does
Tom,
not like it in the Wild West.
So Tom, you went straight from Meeks Cutoff into baseball? When did you fucking shower?
I had to get right before the Mets game.
Jesus Christ!
About 3:30.
And when did you slap together this intro?
I did it before I went to bed last night. I went in the room, I shut the door, and I wrote. And then I worked on it a bit more this morning before I went to work.
Jeff, what did you think of Tom's intro?
I thought it was great.
Thank you, Jeff. At least somebody appreciates it.
I cannot wait to program my next show. It's going to be John Ford, Sergio Leone, and Howard Hawks.
Yeah, that's pure torture for me. Because I've been made fun of so many times because I always say, like, the only westerns I could tolerate are Tombstone and Young Guns. That's it. I own Young Guns. I'm not giving that thing up.
That's hilarious.
Well, why do you like
Not
Young
today,
Guns
not tomorrow.
and not Unforgiven?
Well, I like Young Guns because it has all those dudes I grew up on, Estevez, Sutherland.
It's like a Western Lost
Sheen.
Boys or nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the real pop, the pop ones I enjoy. The only one that I like that Clint Eastwood is in is Pale Rider.
That's great.
Doesn't he play a
for
ghost
some
in
reason.
that? Isn't he a ghost?
No, he's a preacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love Josie Wells. Look, this isn't. I love this film. I also love, West. Most West.
I know
you
do.
Different, and they're so different. Sergio Leone's westerns are so far from John Ford's western. You know what I mean? Like, it's just anyway. It doesn't.
But it just doesn't. It doesn't pull me in any of those movies.
Well, you're gonna have to watch them soon because that's the next fucking show I'm gonna throw.
Why would you intentionally put me through that?
I'm just kidding.
Thank you, because nobody wants to be put through that. I don't think anyway. I mean, I could
listen. If we're really talking about movies, at some point we're gonna have to talk about a western. Some point.
Well, we're talking about one now. Let's talk about this one because this one's kind of fascinating. I love how the Bruce Greenwood character is just a complete boob.
Yeah,
But,
and
it's got
immediately.
that whole yeah, exactly. He's got that whole Western tough guy Western look. I mean, it's just so perfect. He talks the talk. He's smoking the pipe. He's doing his thing. He's but he's just it's like. He's like he's like Clark Griswold. He has no fucking idea what's going on.
And you could tell immediately too how much of a buffoon he is, and that the only person that's taking him seriously is the 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's perfect.
Yeah. She's very aware of that, and she's very aware of the metaphor of exactly what you said. That was a great point, Tom. Following around this male bravado lead, and like what the implications and just like what the meta commentary of that is in the development of the country in general as a patriarchal basically society. That
absolutely,
there's a difference between following around this machismo manifested who wants to kill the Indian. And they have to make this decision on whether or not to, pave their path in blood or not.
The best is just the fact that there's no subtitles to what the Indian is saying. You have no fucking idea what he's saying, what he's feeling, And in an interview that I read with her, she talks a lot about how this story itself, she felt, spoke loudly on what we were doing politically at the time and invading places like Afghanistan and Iraq and sending people over blindly into these places with no vision at all, and having them, you can't understand. I'm sure, as a soldier in Iraq or Afghanistan, you can't understand a word any of these people are saying, and yet you're fighting them, and you don't like them for whatever political reasons or whatever.
We're following cowboys who are, go with guns blazing first and violence and just following
and
that.
To me, it's the perfect movie, that it takes place 150 years ago, yes, but it speaks loudly about where we were at politically, where we still are.
Always. Well, that's what's great about it. I mean, she's very aware of what she's saying extends at large, but she's so, and this is what makes her great, is that she's so aware of the actuality of what she's presenting. And it echoes out into what you were just saying about, imperialism, and then it could be 100 years from now, and that it's the message at the heart of the film is still so universal, as people following somebody who's leading them on this path, and then they make this decision whether or not they're going to continue to follow them down this road of violence and stupidity,
Yeah,
right.
There's a line that the Michelle Williams character says, is he ignorant or just evil?
Right.
And,
and
you're like,
what's the difference?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Max, you have, I don't think there's anybody that I know in life, definitely nobody on the show, that has a closer love, compassion, just a closeness with women. Watching this movie and watching who was it, Michelle Williams, right? If my memory serves, and watching her character come to life during this journey. This had to have moved you, dude.
My name is Meek, and I'm a dick, and my gnarly ass beard is fucking sick.
Yeah, it was like Hart Fisher leading the way.
My name is Meek, and I think I know women. Good God, do my stank ass beard need a trimming? My name is Meek, and I got to say, interrupt me once, and I'll cut you off, okay? My name is Meek, and that Indian's a savage. Michelle Williams, however, that's one I would ravage. My name is Meek, and I smoke a mean pipe. I wish I could be doing the cutting room on Skype. Tom, the women in this film destroy.
I bet.
Oh, and I'm so glad that you, of all animals, of all beasts, of all unholy beings, picked up on that. That really surprised me, Tom. That really surprised me about your intro, that you picked up on the fact that. And I was so amazed and happy that the fucking chicks are the shit in this film.
Yeah.
And they are. They are better than all of us. They are stronger than all of us. And, oh my God, that shot of just the beginning shot where everyone's just carrying all their shit across the moat or whatever. And then that one chick's just squatting and scrubbing away at that pan for 20 minutes.
Man. Yeah.
That girl is getting that pan clean. And it's a 20-minute long shot.
Right. That's badass. She's badass.
Oh, yeah. And she's, and she's in that prairie garb. And I'm thinking about all of the must coming from her vagina and all of the power coming from her pores. And I'm getting so aroused and so, the women in this film. And I'll tell you something, that one time I had to go up to Heath Ledger's house and I had to deliver the DVD. It's a video on YouTube my Heath Ledger story. But as I was passing by a window, I looked in and there was Michelle Williams sitting on a chair, fully prego with Heath's baby. And she looked the most effervescent I've ever seen any woman that I didn't know. I really was blown away by her in this, and I want to rent more films starring her. I'm a full-on Michelle Williams fan now.
Did you watch Wendy and Lucy?
Wendy Williams.
Did you watch Wendy and Lucy during your prep for this?
No, Jeff said no.
Oh,
I can't watch it.
But Joe, you've seen now how would Max love Wendy and Lucy?
He would,
giving it
dude, you would
dog.
be torn apart, Max. You would love it. I mean, yes, it would be very painful.
You gotta watch it. I haven't seen it
immediately.
I was looking up the movie,
but you told me to watch it.
No, because I was looking it up when I was studying her earlier. I was reading about it, and what I was reading was like, how is this not a movie that Max Cook loves?
Well, Max,
Jeff
if
Schreck
you
said avoid it.
Yeah, well,
don't listen to him. He hasn't cried in 19 years.
That's a good point, Tom.
No,
and I didn't necessarily say to avoid it. I just said I didn't want to make you watch it. There's a difference.
Well,
yeah, there is a
difference. You're a
difference.
god into me, Jeff Schreck, Mr. Robot.
Listen, Max, you need to watch it actually immediately. Actually,
Why? Why, Joe? What's going to happen?
It's just if you're what's her name, Michelle Williams. If you're a Michelle Williams fan and you like these films, this Kelly Reichardt is obviously affecting you. It's a friggin' beautiful film. Just almost, it's right along with Old Joy on that level. Like it's right there in that kind of tone, and it's this Williams character with her dog, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. You gotta watch it, man. Immediately.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's going to be in her new one too that she's filming now.
Yeah, she's bringing back a lot of regulars. It looks like, which is cool. Who's the dude she writes with? What's that guy?
John Raymond.
Raymond. Yeah.
I just started reading his book of stories that has the Old Joy and Wendy and Lucy stories in them. Like 3 stories. It's great. It's great stuff.
Jeff, are you at all surprised that Max is digging these films? Are you surprised? And Joe, too, you can get in on that too.
Go ahead, Jeff. You want to feel?
Yeah, Jeff, go first.
A little bit, just because because nothing happens on the surface of these. I know he has sort of like not a lot of patience, but I did have hope.
No one has ever pegged me better. He doesn't have a lot of patience.
But he is very emotional. So
it's true.
Yeah, but he is very emotional.
But and the reason that I assigned him Old Joy is because I know he's I thought of him and thought of him and Adam doing their like Northern California trips.
We've been camping many times.
That thought crossed your mind, Jeff?
Yeah, not.
If you've never seen our Max and the Counselor Go Camping series on YouTube, you need to look it up right now.
Oh my God! All that chest hair, Max.
Oh, he's so fucking hairy. Ugh. Hey, man. Tom, I totally understand. Baseball's your priority. Fuck the cutting room, brother. That's where I would be. Good thing you managed to fit in Meeks Cutoff, even though he was given to you as a gift. How could you do that, Tom? Your brother gives you the DVD.
Oh no, because I'm lousy sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But I
what do you mean you're lousy?
Well,
What are you from the 40s? I'm lousy sometimes. What does that mean? Why are you lousy? How about being not lousy?
I hear you. I'm working on
watching the film at least within a month and saying whatever you feel about it. Like, the guy gave you a movie. This is a guy who has a very contained emotional life. He can't express himself.
Well,
and clearly you guys Tom.
I knew if I didn't watch it, he wasn't going to cry about it, so...
And I would have been more upset about it if I didn't have like a shelf of DVDs that our dad has gotten me for Christmas and birthdays that I have not watched in like 5 or 6 years.
Oh my God! What kind of movies does he buy? Yeah.
But usually movies he likes so he could watch himself. Yeah, give me one or two, Jeff. I know you're global there.
Inglourious Bastards. Haven't seen that yet, despite getting that about 4 or 5 years ago. He gave me Funny Games, the American Funny Games, which I started watching, and once the dog got killed off screen, I was like, I don't know if I could do this right now.
So you were disturbed.
Yeah.
Do you have an animal?
What's that?
Do you have an animal?
Well, I have 2 cats. Yeah.
Oh my God! So you imagine if one of your kitties, God forbid, got out of the house and was gone forever, would you weep then? You think?
I would be very close.
Close.
Yeah.
Now, are you close to your dad that you share with Tom? Because he was living with Tom, and then that dude, that was weird. Like, that nomad Irish guy lived with Tom, then he moved out, and then the dad moved in, and then he moved out, and then the nomad Irish, I don't know what's going on there. Is anyone cleaning the toilets? That's all I want.
Jeff, of course. Jeff, listen, it sounds harsh, but Jeff completely understands what I went through with having him live here. And it wasn't good. It's not healthy. Jeff, I think you understand.
Yeah. And I mean,
relationship with the dad, Jeff.
What's that?
Do you have a relationship with your dad, Tom, currently?
Yeah. I mean, a lot more than that, a lot closer I've been than with Tom and him, but not very close. Like, I don't see him very often. Like, I don't think it's been like a year.
You haven't seen him in a year?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time you saw him, was it like, let's meet at the diner and catch up, or?
I don't remember.
A meeting with our father usually consists of going into his bedroom while he lays in the bed and you sit there and talk to him.
Ew.
Am I far from?
That sounds about right.
That's what it is.
I don't know what's worse, having a dad who died a month before you were born, or having that.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's not very easy, and he's very gross sometimes, and he
like gross. Do you mean what? Like he does snot rockets?
You want to hear something gross?
Yeah,
you really want to hear something gross?
I really do.
That would really annoy me. Like when he was here, like I'll just give you.
I want to hear what you think is gross
of something that just really fucking pissed me off. Like just, and it wasn't one time, it wasn't 2 times. It was like after like the 3rd or 4th time, like you just start to lose your mind. Like he's gross, and he has certain things that how can I say, like
he's not
medically
listen to this, right?
No, like medically that's just fucked up, and
fungi.
He's got like, I don't know, how can I say this without really grossing you guys out? Anyway, let me put it to you this way. He goes into the bathroom and he will, he's not very clean when he uses the bathroom either. Like he gets it all over the place, gets it on himself. I know for a fact.
Like poop?
Like piss.
Oh.
Whatever. He's gross.
Okay,
so he's the kind of guy that does that. Comes directly out of the bathroom, will go into the kitchen, go into, like, say, a box of, and you know why this is why I get really mad, a box of, like, cereal that's sitting up there, and he'll pour the cereal into his bowl and stick his hands in the cereal after coming out of the bathroom and not washing his hands. So
he's like touching his filthy, fucking, disgusting joint that helped make you. And then he goes and he touches food and he contaminates everything.
Yes,
he's a mongrel,
and he's got shit that's it's contaminated. Yeah. Okay, so now it is. Now I'm just being real. I'm being real here. So the last time, like he did this, like before he left, I said to him, "Did you wash your hands? Did you wash your hands after you were done? Before you stick your fucking hands in the box of cereal?" Did you wash your hands? And he goes, of course. And I go, okay. I get up out of my seat. I go into the bathroom, put my hand in the sink, and it's bone fucking dry. Bone dry. And I'm losing it because it's like I've told him a million times. I couldn't eat things, and he would just consume all day, every day. That's all. He doesn't leave the house. He just eats everything. Like, I could buy 3 boxes of cereal. I swear to God, they'd be gone in 4 days. I swear to God. And it drove me crazy. And, like, he doesn't go out and get... Now I'm going off here. Why do you got me going off? He's got me going off. Does anybody care about this?
Joe is a father. Before he touches the cereal, he washes his hands after he pisses all over the bowl.
Because for anybody... Jesus Christ, it's not a difficult thing.
Well, it sounds like your father's a fucking invalid. It sounds like he's got a lot of fucking problems.
No, he does. No, he could do whatever he wants. He chooses not to do any of this shit.
Okay.
Jeff, I'm right.
Yeah.
It's by design. He just doesn't give a fuck about anything except himself. Yeah,
but clearly his sons. And isn't there another Shrek?
Were a burden.
You sent an email out, and there was like another Shrek. Who's Joe?
Yeah,
Shrek?
Joe. My cousin Joe does the editing for the program.
Does?
Yeah.
Does anyone listen to this show, Joe?
Yes.
Joe. I want numbers. Who downloads and listens? Who?
How many do you think listen?
10. Jeremy Garcia
More
and
than
9
that.
other losers.
More than that.
Is that true? I didn't mean to call you all losers.
Gee,
I listen to this show, and I'm a loser. No, seriously. How many?
Hundreds.
400?
Some of our stuff gets up to 1,000. Over the 1,000 mark.
Depending on the film.
Depending on the film, yeah.
Yeah.
But that said,
thank you all for listening. I'm surprised.
On YouTube, though,
we do very well on YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of people are subscribed to us on YouTube, and
we got like 450,000 views just on the Human Centipede one.
Yeah,
by the way, guys, the 3rd Human Centipede's coming out, and I'm bringing that shit to the cutting room.
Yeah, you better bring it because I'm ready for it. That I am ready. That is, dude. That to me is like that's a super episode.
Oh yeah.
That is a super episode. We should do all 3 again, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That should be the first time we ever go back and do something again. Do it again. Make it a big fucking blowout. Hopefully it could be a season finale or season opener. Because that I'm excited about.
So am I the only one who thought about Michelle Williams's under prairie garments? You guys still aren't into panties, right?
Still. As if it's something we haven't discovered yet, which is just like a craze that means I'm coming.
Jeff Shrek, I know you're a robot, and I know you have no emotion externally, but do you visit your wife's hamper?
No, I could never. I never got the appeal of that.
I never got the appeal.
I never got the appeal of that. That's something that never grabbed me. My wife's vagina is.
I am incapable. I am incapable. I have not been programmed to enjoy women.
Perhaps I could be reprogrammed to appreciate the stink of my wife's booty hole on her underpants, but it's not something I think about. My wife is in the other room right now in a blanket watching Gilmore Girls. And part of me wants to go out there and have sex with her, but most likely I will not. I have 2 cats. There is something about Kelly Reichardt's films that destroy my soul, but I cannot reveal it at this point.
Poor Jeff. Joe, man, he's this poor kid unrobotically gets. I mean, I've never seen Jeff open up like that.
Jeff, you listen to this. You know the show. Obviously, you've been on it for a while. You know the show. You know that we heal each other by beating the shit out of each other, right?
Yeah, of course. I just
good.
I just didn't know how much I just didn't know how much I sounded like the girl from Small Wonder.
The healing power of ridicule.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the podcast.
My father pees all over the bowl and walks into the other room and touches the cereal with his dirty, filthy paw. I hate my father. I have not seen him in a year. I love him. I don't know love.
It just takes a while, Jeff, because we really got to figure out what would hurt you the most to start ridiculing you about it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I wonder if Kelly Reichardt even wears underwear. I looked at photos of her on IMDb. She seems...
What'd you think?
Well, it appears maybe she enjoys the ladies. I could be wrong. But she seems very strong. Very feisty.
Yeah, you know what, too? Like, real quick, back on this movie. To do this movie the way she did and not really have it, like, overly feminist in tone is a lot to be said, too. I think so anyway, because a lot of, like, you know, to twist this around the way she did and to make it not like a very girl power kind of movie is really impressive. You know, she she's a very go on.
Yeah, because something like Quentin Tarantino with the Kill Bill movies, where you're like, you know, Uma Thurman is just acting, you know, sort of acting like a man, and that's
right.
The idea of you know,
right.
The feminist approach is like kicking ass. Yeah, and she doesn't do that.
Well,
she doesn't
just
do
like
that,
we
though.
were saying with Night Moves, you know, even though she has certain feelings one way or another, I'm talking like a robot now. Even though she has certain feelings and predilections and beliefs and convictions one way or another, especially whether it's feminism or anti-corporation in Night Moves, she's a smart enough and she's an artist enough to be genuinely exploring the theme, you know, and asking the question for herself as a way to discover, you know, what she is trying to say or what she does believe, you know, and you sense that in this, you know. Yeah. She's asking the questions, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Though,
she's
yeah. Though the feminism is there. It's just subtle, you know.
Jeff, very true.
Do you own these movies, all of them?
No, I don't own any of them.
I own Max. I do own one of them.
I know that Jeff gave you. That's just so weird. Like, if I was to give someone a DVD, I don't know.
It's not even just he gave me a Blu-ray version of it.
Joe, have you hung out with Jeff like one-on-one or?
Oh yeah,
not one-on-one, but we've been at gatherings together. Sure. I like.
So what is he like in person?
They always. I'll tell you something real quick, Joe. Let me jump in here. They always find the time at a gathering to go off alone somewhere, like, you know, whether it be outside on the deck or sitting in the living room or whatever, and have a one-on-one conversation.
I do. Cool. I enjoy that. Probably one of the best things that I like doing when we hang out together. You know, whether it was up here a couple times or down by you. You know, Jeff's very intelligent. He's creative, passionate. You know, right. So I like to talk to him about stuff. You know, like he responds to. You know, it's good to always talk to another artist. You don't run into that in your daily life. So when
you consider Jeff a true artist?
Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, he's creative. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you don't run into people in your general life that speak the same language as you do, you know? So when I talk to Jeff, I absolutely feel like we're you know,
Would you say you identified with Jeff more than you do Tom?
Oh boy.
To identify with Jeff more than well, no. I mean, Tom and I have a lot of shared experiences that we can relate to one another with. You know, we're very much from the same time. You know, we grew up together a lot. You know, we did a lot of growing up together. So, you know, we came, even though, you know, our tastes are different with a lot of things. Like, you know, we have a lot of the same shared experiences. You know.
All right. So F, Mary,
plus there's always this. I always feel like there's a little bit of tension between me and Tom.
No.
F, Mary, kill, Joe. F, Mary, kill. Michelle Williams, Jeff Schreck, Tom Detloff. F, Mary, kill.
Wait. F, Mary, kill. Oh,
fuck
Jesus
Mary
Christ.
Kill.
What the fuck? Michelle Williams, and Tom.
Wait. You would kill Tom?
Why would you kill me, Joe? I'm just starting to get happy, and you want me dead?
Dude, I'm just kidding. Dude, come on. This was ridiculous.
I swear to God, I 2-3 years from now, I'm gonna die of a heart attack. Joe's gonna be like,
look, I said
"Thank
Michelle
fucking God."
Williams twice, Tom. What do you want me to
Yeah, I
say?
didn't even get considered.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Gets happy. He's shot down like a bird in flight.
That's my life. It's horrible. Hey, Jeff, one question for you, and before we wrap it up. It has to do with Kelly Reichardt, because I know you are, like Billy, you're always pass on interviews. Now, I tried to get...
I will say this too, Tom. Before you get to what you're going for there, Tom, just one sec, real quick. You were saying, Jeff, that you do this show as sort of a way to work out some of your stuff and your emotional stuff. And Billy very much does this show just so he can sort of kind of get, because he's got the social thing. So it's very good. It's very cathartic for him to work out stuff on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I'd say I'm more like that. Like it's not necessarily getting out emotions, but it is like working through the anxiety of sort of having a deadline to get work done, and also to think and try to articulate about something. It's like it's very, very hard for me, especially over the phone. Like we did an episode at Joe's house in person, and that was like I was very a lot more comfortable doing that because I could I could like motion. I could gesture and stuff. Like it's very hard to like even like, especially early on when I started doing it. Like very hard to.
Sounds like a robot.
my complete algorithms do not allow me to improvise with language.
The only time I enjoyed myself was in the physical presence of others.
Yeah, so you got the gist of what I was saying.
Listen, I know because Billy's, and again with Billy, who does this show for his reason, but Billy for the most part, well, if we're doing an interview, Billy's like, no thanks, almost to the point where I don't even bother to ask him. But Billy did, however, jump over Lake Michigan to do the interview with Larry Smith with me. Would you have wanted to have been a part of Kelly Reichardt interview if we were able to?
Absolutely.
You would say yes to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wondered about that because I'm like, well, Jay, because to me, I always go with Max, because Max could make anybody, interesting. But yeah, that's awesome that you would have done that, and I wish I tried. I tried to get a lot of people.
Oh my God! I thought you were going to surprise us, Tom. You're the worst Santa Claus ever.
Well,
here's your dream, Jeff. I got an interview with. Yeah, I really tried, guys, but I epic failed.
But I'm lousy.
Jesus, you are lousy.
Hey Tom,
that was terrible.
Hey Tom, hit her over the head with the sledgehammer and put her in the trunk and bring her to the cutting room.
That sounds good, Tom. Hey. Wow, Tom, what a bummer. You totally brought the show down.
Why did I bring it down?
Because I thought behind curtain number 1 was the interview with Kelly that Jeff would be on, and you're like, yeah, I really tried, but I failed.
Oh, boy. Jeff, was that a big letdown, or is he just being annoying?
No, it was that would have been a nightmare if it was a surprise. Hey,
My sensors have not been prepared for such interactions.
Kelly, we don't have anything for you, but Jeff, he's here for you.
If Kelly suddenly appeared, I would short circuit.
Oh man! All right, guys, I'm going to begin the wrap up here in just a second. I want to thank everybody, Max, Jeff, Joe. Really awesome stuff. I'm so glad everybody had a great time watching these movies. Some really great conversations, man. Last week's episode on Night Moves was awesome. Thanks a lot for doing this episode. let's say goodbye. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast is brought to you by Christiana Productions and New Media Limited. The show is edited and co-produced by Joseph Schreck and produced by Thomas Detloff and Joe Christiana. We'd also like to thank our associate producer, Jeremy Garcia of Dartboard Cinema. You can like us on Facebook at The Cutting Room Movie Podcast and follow us on Twitter at Cutting Room Podcast at TCRMP1. And you can follow me on Twitter, Thomas Detloff, at TCRM Podcast. You could also check out Joe's film work at ChristianaProductions.com. Check out Adam's new show, Starland PC, at StarlandPC.com. Check out Max and Adam's Bowler Hat Productions and their Mimosa podcast show at MaxCookandTheCounselor.com and Max Cook's blog at MaxCookUncorked.com. Music from The Cutting Room is done by the Zillatones. Check them out at www.thezillatones.com or search for the Zillatones at ReverbNation.com. We're going to be back next week, and we're going to talk about Kill the Messenger, the 2014 drug trafficking film. Until then, we are over, and we are out. Ciao. Lingering thoughts and ideas about what they witness on her screen, as she never gives you absolution. And this reminds me of Michael Haneke. They both really trust us with taking in raw elements of life instead of usual plots and obviousness. They are both tough watches, but the reward is worthwhile as you are left with pieces of life that stir your soul. A rough cocktail to absorb, but the buzz is enlightening. I can't imagine living in a time or place that would see me risking my life for a better one, but Reichardt allows me to imagine. She puts me in the place and time without all the false bullshit, and she rips your gut open and helps you understand being. And that's cinema's purpose. That's what it's here for. And Kelly Reichardt is a gift. And make no mistake, she is boring. But please absorb Meeks Cutoff and allow yourself to enjoy a true Western. Because if they were all like this, real and gritty, I would be... I've been ridiculed on the show before for my lack of respect for the Western. I've been spit on by Joe Christiana for having a disinterest in John Ford films. And Billy has thrown rotten fruit at me for not being able to sit through Unforgiven. Yeah. And I've tried 3 times. I don't know. I just feel so disconnected from these types of pictures. I think it's the excessive male bravado John Wayne and Clint Eastwood carry around as these ultra liberators with these giant guns. Women seem to be so useless in these films, and they usually look to these alpha male types to save them from whatever crisis they're experiencing. I mean, this is the usual Western, right? Tired plots, tired stories, and tired looking men who always save the town from its bad guy. And all this just makes me so tired. So, I was given Meeks Cutoff as a gift from my brother Jeff a couple of years ago, and after a quick hug and a thank you, I put the disc on my shelf where it sat for a couple of years until this morning. All in, all the time. As for allowing a gift like this to sit on a shelf for years, I apologize. I made a mistake. Jeff, I don't know why you found this lady, but as a voice on this show, a big thanks for bringing something different to the table. Reichardt deserves to be explored, and I'm going to keep my eyes open, even if she casts Clint Eastwood as a horse-riding, mysterious gunslinger, because I'm certain she'll do something different. And that's all a fan of film could ask for. Something different.
Tom, is your review done? Sorry.
Yes.
Are you telling me that you watched the film this morning and you watched baseball yesterday?
No. I watched this yesterday, and I wrote this review before I went to bed last night.
Wait a minute. So yesterday you watched baseball and Meeks Cutoff? You
I watched
baseball
Meeks,
all day.
I got hold on. I got up in the morning.
I'm holding on.
All right, hold on one more second. I got up in the morning and I watched Meeks Cutoff, and then I began my baseball day. Yes.
He likes his male bravado on a green field with hot dogs.
I mean,
but he does not like it in the Wild West.
So Tom, you went straight from Meeks Cutoff into baseball. When did you shower?
I had to get right before the Mets game.
Jesus Christ!
About 3:30.
And when did you slap together this intro?
I did it before I went to bed last night. I went in the room, I shut the door, and I wrote. And then I worked on it a bit more this morning before I went to work.
Jeff, what did you think of Tom's intro?
I thought it was great.
Thank you, Jeff. At least somebody appreciates it. I cannot
wait to program my next show. It's going to be John Ford, Sergio Leone, and Howard Hawks.
Yeah, that's pure torture for me. Because I've been made fun of so many times because I always say, like, the only westerns I could tolerate are Tombstone and Young Guns. That's it. I own Young Guns. I'm not giving that thing up.
That's hilarious.
Well, why do you like
not
Young
today,
Guns
not tomorrow,
and not Unforgiven?
Well, I like Young Guns because it has all those dudes I grew up on, Estevez, Sutherland.
It's like a western. Yeah, you're such an asshole.
He is such a dick.
Tom, you're such a dick.
Kelly Reichardt's revisionist take on the western is an absolute astonishing piece of cinema. I'm not going to lie and say that it isn't a slow-moving, minimal dialogue, difficult piece to follow. But what she accomplishes here is near heroic. Meeks Cutoff is an honest tale of human struggle about three families following the 19th century dream of moving out west through the harsh landscape of the Oregon Trail, experiencing uncertainty, thirst, and misguidance. They're being led by a male fool, played by an excellent Bruce Greenwood, and a strong and sensible woman quietly steps up to help see these families through to an unknown destination. It's obvious Reichardt knows her westerns and oppositely tells her story by designing a reality that normally eludes these types of pictures. What amazes me, as with all of the films of hers that I watched, is her ability to allow the viewer to have